Good morning, everybody. I was about to say welcome to McDonald's. I still have hints of my old job. Today we will be having a continuation of my last discussion upon whether or not Pennsylvania should be discriminating against the sex workers. That is a mouthful. If you haven't watched my last video, I would suggest doing so that you're not entirely lost. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you might win one of these. Yes, empty boxes. Sorry, people, I need your attention. But it was a good prank, though, wasn't it? Today, the policies that are enacted by the state in order to prevent human trafficking is the PAATH-15, which stands for the Pennsylvania Alliance Against Trafficking in Humans. 15 stands for Route 15, which is where the policy is being enforced and enacted upon. Route 15 is the superhighway that runs north and south of the state, right smack dab in the middle, which connects to townships such as Bradford, Tioga, Lycoming, Union, North Cumberland, Snyder, Dauphin, Perry, York, regular Cumberland, and Adams, which is a series of state and local and state enforcement checkpoints, which identify and engage suspicious criminal activity such as human trafficking or even drug trafficking, anything not miscellaneous, but mischievous. That's the word, mischievous. This plan has, ever since the plan has been enacted up until now, has saved up to 300 lives, which is a fair number. However, the number could be more. In recent years, Pennsylvania has seen a very dangerous spike in the amount of human trafficking occurring within the state because law enforcement and politicians don't have it up on their agenda to stop this. And it's sickening to have to repeat the fact that these are children and minors that are being forced to do this. It really is sickening, and it makes my it makes my heart hurt a lot to know that somebody only a few years younger than me, or even a few years younger than the rest of us, could be out there being forced to do things they don't want to and not even receive proper compensation for it. But back to the main subject. My policy, which I would call the TPAP, which is the Trafficking Protection Act of Pennsylvania, would not only bolster the amount of victims saved from human trafficking yearly, but would also protect them in their testimonies and in sentencing. As mentioned in the last video, victims of human trafficking are unfortunate members of discriminalization, and they are looped in and given overgrown sentences for things that they have no control of. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation and the reality of the world we're living in. But the TPAP, the first part of TPAP would work in conjunction with PAP 15 in bolstering checkpoints and getting the resources and training available from the federal government, the FBI and the CIA, domestic federal agencies that are created to help prevent crimes within the nation's borders. But when it comes to events such as human trafficking, they're too busy dealing with other things, which may or may not be the case. However, they don't put in enough effort to help find the victims, people and kingpins, the head honchos. And it's unfortunate that just so happens to be the case. But what will be happening with TPAP is that state troopers and local law enforcement will receive the training and the equipment such as bugs, discrepancy, eavesdropping, all of the above, and in order to locate, track, and bring in the people at the top, because the more people they bring in from the bottom, the people from the top can just bring in more people. It's almost a limitless supply of victims that they can bring in that can be taken away. And the victims can't offer a strong testimony as to who it is that was dealing them, I suppose, because they don't work closely enough with them. So the idea of TPAP is to find who's at the top, and not only find who's at the top, but gather evidence and claims, testimonies, and anything that could put them away for a very long time. The second part of TPAP is to offer protection and not only offer physical protection but immunity. I guess not diplomatic immunity, but in a sense diplomatic immunity, that if they have to serve time, they're not serving extended sentences for 10, 12 years in a state that they have no idea. TPAP would work to get the victims back to their own families, or at least get them back to a correctional facility within the vicinity of their own families and friends, people that they know, trust, and understand, and try to return them to their former life as best as possible, while offering counseling and therapy as well. I think that if this policy were enacted, it is the best policy to enact, because, like I said, these are children and minors that are mostly affected by this, and it's unfortunate that that's the case, and that law enforcement doesn't see the need to try and get the people at the top, because they're so focused on driving a crime rate down by getting I suppose the mincemeat. I think that this plan would be effective, even if not on the front of catching who's at the top of these organizations. At least it'd be more effective in returning children to their former lives, and they're not spending, the rest of their juvenile life, behind bars, and then they come out of prison like a 26-year-old, and then are brought right back into the life. I think that TPAP would be able to effectively capture criminals and rehabilitate victims of trafficking. And I think that's pretty much it. That's TPAP for you. Have a nice day.